But also, right now, Bowling Green's got to go against Madeline Reeves, who is an outstanding pitcher in the MAC, and they really only rely on those two. But Reeves is who we're going to see in this first game.
Yeah, Madeline Reeves, only a sophomore out of Yorkville, Illinois, MAC Freshman of the Year last year. Of course, made the All-MAC freshman team as well. 201 innings pitched this year. That's 50 more than second place Ella Whitney in the MAC. So she's been really doing it all and been taking all the heavy lifting for these Red Hawks.
Yeah. Her and Leah Chevrier combined for 305 of the 324 total innings pitched for Miami on the season, which is an unbelievable number. Over 300, also unbelievable, but to be pitching all but about 19 innings of the season is just frankly unbelievable. And coming into this year, Gardner Colgate has improved the team ERA from 2024 to 2025 and has added more strikeouts to the repertoire of Miami, which is a big thing to look for against Bowling Green today. Their power as well. They have great run support for their pitchers. One of the most amounts of runs scored in the MAC, actually second in that category, and they've got a couple of real big bats in the lineup. Golombesky being one of them, Chloe Parks being another with her doubles, and the #1 slugging percentage in the MAC.
Yeah, Jenna Golombesky, you mentioned the MAC home run leader with 17, but she's been on kind of a tough streak lately, homerless since April 6th, and only one hit in her last 9 games, 1 for 29 in that span. So it's kind of been a lot of these other Red Hawks who have kind of had to step up lately. And it's been Shelby Kunkel who has really been driving force for this team, tied 7th in the MAC in batting average, 7th in OPS, 4th in hits, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 7th in stolen bases. So really a great all-around player hitting there in the middle of the lineup for the Red Hawks. She's been the leader for them in these past couple weeks.
Yeah, Chloe Parks batting 3rd. She's a big one to look out for as well. Shelby Kunkel, as you mentioned, is batting 1st today, and Golombesky batting toward the bottom of the lineup, as you mentioned, is slumping a little bit. But those 17 home runs, certainly something to look out for if you're the Bowling Green pitcher today, which is Mackenzie Kraftsick. She's going to get the circle again today for the Falcons, kind of taking that role of the day 1 starter. She's going to get the game 1 start today. She and the rest of the Bowling Green pitching staff has had some troubles the last couple of games, but they've been pretty consistent throughout MAC play, trying to get back to that in the final MAC series of the season, and she's going to be a big portion of Falcons' success today, and especially because she gives up a lot of hits but not a lot of power.
Yeah, Kraftsick pitched in all 3 games against Toledo, only made 1 start in that start, 6 1/3 innings pitched on 4 earned runs and 10 hits. That's kind of the way, the style that she likes to play. A lot of these, kind of as a finesse pitcher, allows a lot of weak contact, so allows a lot of hits, but she can get out of jams consistently with a lot of that weak contact. So she's been successful, especially against these more offensive-oriented teams, and just keeping them, limited, 3 runs, 4 runs, keeping them in the game late.
Yeah, one of the best pitchers I think we've seen this season at getting herself out of trouble, although sometimes she gets herself into a little bit of trouble. The walks have been a little bit of an issue for the Falcons as well, between her, Morgan Beckham, and Scarlett Anderson as well. But the Falcon bats have been pretty consistent lately and been a very good strong spot for the Falcons. Cam Kaufman being one of those that's kind of stepped into the cleanup role. She's really heating up. She was batting 270 pre-injury. She was down to 226 after she came back during MAC play, and now she's up to 276 again. So some pretty big swings for her, but she's a real big one to anchor that middle of the lineup to get hot and support those top 3 batters that are batting all above 300.
Yeah, they really need her to step up in that role at the cleanup spot for these Falcons, where she'll be today. 6 hits in 2 games against Toledo, 1 RBI, and hits in 5 of her last 6 games after going hitless in 6 of her first 8 games since her return from injury at the NIU series. We talk about all the offensive production that she has had, and she does it all in the defensive end as well. She's played a fantastic shortstop and the anchor of this great Falcon infield that has been great on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball, all 4 of them.
Certainly, now that the infield is back to their natural positions, they've been so much more consistent, especially with Martin back at 3rd and Barrett back at first base. Batting right behind Cam Kaufman in the lineup is Kendall Matthews, playing left field today. She is one of the most interesting players on this team, I believe, Henry. Through the entirety of MAC play, didn't see too much production from her, but she's battled her way all the way up to the 5th spot in the lineup, and she is one of the more clutch players, I'd say, on this team. It seems like every time you're down 6th, 7th inning, she's able to come up with a big hit. She's got a lot of power. She's got extra base drives, and she's just been outstanding for Bowling Green the last couple of games when they've struggled offensively.
Yep, 5 hits in the last 4 games after going hitless in Game 3 against Toledo, and 4 RBIs in that span as well. So that goes back to your clutch point. And the junior from Lakeland College, it kind of took her a little bit to get going, and I think she finally finally getting comfortable here. And, not just this year, I'm excited to see, what she can produce in upcoming years as well.
Yeah, batting fifth is around, I think, preseason where we expected her to be, and she's got there a little bit later in the season than we'd like, but she's got there. The batting order for Bowling Green: Hannah Hunt batting first, playing second base; Addie Martin batting second, playing third base; Taylor Barrett batting third, playing first; Cameron Kaufman playing shortstop and batting fourth; Kendall Matthews, as we mentioned, playing left field and batting fifth; batting sixth is Peyton Steffes playing right; batting seventh, Ava McKee, the catcher; batting eighth, Hannah Massaro playing center field, a place where she has been outstanding the last couple of games since she's moved there from first base; and Delaney Davis, the designated hitter, and batting ninth today, trying to turn it over to the top of the lineup. As we mentioned, Mackenzie Krafchick in the circle for Bowling Green. Henry, some real things to look out for the Falcons today to try and get them their first win against one of the top 4 teams in the MAC.
Yeah, I mean, no better time and no better day to break that losing streak here today. Although this team is pretty much out of playoff contention at this point, they still have a lot to play for, and I'm looking to see an improvement. I think they've learned a lot in this past week, and they've played well here at home, especially last time out. Almost got a win against Ohio, and the series before that, 2 out of 3 victories against Western. So although they've had a tough time on the road, they've definitely played well here at home.
And as always here at Missouri Field, we should mention the weather, which has affected a lot of the home games for Bowling Green. Today, it's quite perfect compared to the other conditions that we've had. The wind is blowing from right field to left field. It's a gorgeous day. About 65 degrees is the high, I believe. The sun's out. It shouldn't really affect the ball too much. The wind's not flying too bad, and I think it'll be a pretty even game in terms of conditions for both sides. One of the cleanest games I think we'll see played.
Yeah, I mean, after the last home series that we called here against Ohio, the 40-mile-an-hour winds in that series, I think I'm excited. We might actually see some home runs, and we might see something actually leave the fence after. In that Ohio series specifically, we had hits that may have been 3-4 home runs that were all just kind of blown back into the field of play. So we'll see that. Bowling Green is a power-oriented team, especially Addie Martin in that middle of the lineup, top 5 in the MAC in home runs. So
and certainly Miami is a power-oriented team as well.
Yeah, as well. So. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see some of that today.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we will talk to you in a minute after they do starting lineups and national anthem here at Missouri Field. You're listening to BGSU Softball playing the Miami Redhawks in their final MAC series of the season on Falcon Radio.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games. Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Softball faces Miami of Ohio in a doubleheader on Tuesday, April 29th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korek and Henry Koska will be on the call, beginning at 12:45 for pregame and 1 p.m. for first pitch on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Baseball starts a 3-game series against Northern Illinois on Thursday, May 15th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavelitz and Chaz McNeil will call the game starting at 2:45 on Falcon Radio.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
BGSU softball heads to South Bend, Indiana to battle the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Thursday, May 1st at 5:30 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have a recap of the game on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Hi, I'm Lauren Hovey on the BGSU volleyball team, and these are my Falcon 4 off-day activities. My first one would be spend time with family and friends if they're in town, because I love them. My second one would be read my book, because it's relaxing. My third one would be go get coffee, because who doesn't love coffee? And my fourth one would be go get groceries so I can make food for the week.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
60 degrees and sunny here in Missouri Field for the start of the first game of the doubleheader between Bowling Green and Miami of Ohio, the Falcons' last MAC series of the season at home. Pretty fitting that it ended here. Ben Korak here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Henry, beautiful day, and getting ready to start this softball game. It should be a good one for Bowling Green to take some their final MAC wins of the season.
Yeah, Mackenzie Krafchick getting the start here in Game 1. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in Game 2, especially with Miami if they decide to stick with their starter, Madeline Reeves, who has, I mentioned, thrown over 200 innings this year in Game 2 as well, or if they decide to go with their other option, the Canadian native over there. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think Bowling Green has an opportunity to just kind of put everything else behind them and focus on just getting a win against a team that has kind of dominated them in the past few years.
Leading off for Miami is Shelby Kunkel. She's been the best hitter, I would argue, for Miami this season. 372 batting average, 7 home runs, so a pretty decent amount of power added. Third on the team, amazingly, with 7 home runs behind Golan Besky and Kaylee O, I believe, as well. Pretty stereotypical leadoff hitter, gets on base a lot, able to steal bags here and there as well. 14 total on the season. First delivery from Krafchick is a strike on the outside.
She's going to be able to pinpoint those locations today. That's going to be key for her. It's typically how it goes when she's able to mark those low and outside off speeds and get those fastballs on the inside as well. That's typically her bread and butter and where she finds her most success.
Corners pinching a little bit. The 0-1 is sliced foul down the third base line. Another early swing for Kunkel.
Kunkel eclipsed 100 career hits with the Red Hawks last week. Their series against Ohio.
The 0-2, low and outside for ball 1. Her last 4 games played, she's 2 for 13, a run, 2 stolen bases, and a strikeout. Not too much production from her recently. Her first error in 17 games was against Ohio last week. Another one low and away for Krafczyk, 2-2.
Yeah, it's been kind of a tough go for Miami, especially against OU. Got swept by the Bobcats on the road in Athens. That's a big rivalry between those two. I'm sure they're going to be looking for redemption here in this series.
2-2 pitch from Krafczyk. Swing and a miss. Got her on the off speed. Sits down the first batter. Brings up Kaylee O, the left fielder.
It's a good sign. Really pinpointed that right just below the zone. Got Kunkel to chase. She was way early on it. It's going to be an adjustment that Miami's going to have to make.
Next up for the Red Hawks, here is left fielder number 13.
Kaylee O, below 300 batter, but has been pretty good her last couple of games. Batting 300 over her last 4, actually. 2 runs, a double, a walk, stolen bases. 3 strikeouts, though, from Kaylee O. And while Krafczyk never pitches for strikeouts, you can always, when you start the game with a strikeout, nothing's impossible. 1-0 pitch, lifted in the air to left field. Ranging back is Kendall Matthews. She's at the warning track. Cannot make the catch. Reaches above her head. Rising to second is Kaylee O. She'll get back in time. And it's a 1-out double for Miami.
Yeah, well, there's that power that we talked about. That's going to be a big factor, especially going out to left field today. And as opposed to past weeks here at Messer Field where the wind has really been blowing in. It's pretty tame here today, so we saw that one really get kind of deeper than I thought it was going to go, right out towards the fence, and I think a little bit deeper than Kendall Matthews thought as well, as she was right on the fence but wasn't quite able to make the play.
Yeah, the flag is blowing not at all, actually.
No.
So maybe Kendall Matthews was anticipating a little bit more. Could have made the catch. This one is lifted in the air down the left field line. She will make this catch. O takes a step off of second base, but will retreat. 2 outs with a runner on second for Miami, bringing up McKenna Campbell, the catcher.
Or Mackenzie Krafczyk out there on the mound. She relies on that defense a lot of the time, especially that defense on the left side. Martin and Kaufman and Matthews out there who's in left today. We'll probably see them in a lot of action today, and they're going to be the keys to keeping Miami off the board.
Campbell, a very good hitting catcher, 331, some pretty good power as well. 4 home runs, 9 doubles on the season. Slices it down the first baseline, foul.
Campbell, another one of those younger Red Hawks, part of this kind of new era team under the new first-year head coach, Manny Gardner-Colgate, sophomore out of San Jose, California. That's one thing that's interesting about this team, only 2 Ohio native players, a lot of Western faces that you'll see out there.
1-0 for Krafczyk, runner on second base and 2 outs. The off-speed is yanked down the third base line and foul. So 1-1, the count back to even. Would have been a pretty good start to the inning had Matthews been able to make that catch out in left field. Could have been 1-2-3 very easily. Instead it fell down on the warning track. And Kaylee O gets a double. Quick fly out. Sets up this 0-2 count for Krafczyk. Puts it low and away to the first righty we've seen of the game.
We see this a lot with hitters facing Krafczyk where they kind of get down early and really battle back.
Mm-hmm.
McKenna Campbell is she does that a lot as a hitter, 13th in the MAC in on-base percentage, 22 walks. That's second most on the team this year.
The 1-2. Lifted in the air to left field again. Kendall Matthews under it. We'll put it in her back pocket for out number 3 in the top of the first inning. The Falcons will hit with Hannah Hunt, Addie Martin, and Taylor Barrett in the bottom of the first. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
BGSU Baseball returns home to host Notre Dame at Stellar Field on Sunday, May 11th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil will call the game beginning at 2:45 for pregame and 3 p.m. for first pitch on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Bowling Green bats in the bottom of the first inning against Madeline Reeves, who, frankly, Henry is one of the better pitchers in the MAC. We've got to say that a lot broadcasting here at Missouri Field. We got to say about Ella Whitney, Skip Miller as well, a couple of other ones.
Anna Wise, any pitcher
Anna Wise,
out of Ohio.
pretty much any of the top pitchers we've seen here in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And we're going to see another one today. One of the leaders in a lot of statistical categories. Reeves, 6th in ERA, 5th in batting average, but 2nd in wins, 1st in complete games, innings pitched, and strikeouts. Foul ball on the first pitch for Hannah Hunt.
Yeah, Reeves mentioned that 3.4 ERA is even more impressive with the innings count that she's had, and she's surprisingly, you would think with 50 more innings than any other pitcher in the MAC, she would be leading them in pretty much, or leading the MAC in pretty much every total category. But she's not leading in earned runs, which is the big thing for her. Only 98 earned runs on those 200 innings pitched. Which, if you can do the quick math, not too hard there. It's about 1 every 2 innings. It's a pretty good average for her.
Her and Leah Chevrier each combined for 305 of the 324 total innings pitched for Miami this season. An unbelievable number. And as you mentioned, 200 of them for Madeline Reeves, which, again, is an unbelievable number. 0-2. The count to Hannah Hunt, the leadoff for Bowling Green. The pitch, off speed, swing and a miss. First batter strikeout for Madeline Reeves, just like Mackenzie Kraftsick. And it'll bring up Addie Martin, then Taylor Barrett on deck, and Cam Kaufman in the hole.
That off speed is tough. That's a lot of movement, a lot of drop on that off speed. That's what kind of makes her so dangerous, especially as she gets up in counts.
And the same pitch we saw from Kraftsick on her strikeout as well. High fastball, left high from Addie Martin.
Yeah, well, Addie Martin, I'm sure she's happy about the win today. Had the lack of wind, I should say. Today, 12 home runs on the year, but no homers in the past couple of weeks for her.
Hard swing and foul ball. Caught it off herself, so she's limping a step. She'll have to take a second. 1-1 the count versus Toledo this last weekend. Addie Martin, 2 for 10, a run, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a sac fly. Also against Toledo, 15 touches of the softball. Her most at third base in a series this season, actually. She had more against Kent State when she was playing shortstop. That's the only other series this season that she's had more touches. 15 is a lot. It's a lot of plays to make without an error. Lifted out, foul, down the third baseline. 1-2.
Martin, no multi-hit games since the Western Michigan series. That was about 3 weeks ago now. Kind of hard to believe that was 3 weeks. Time goes by fast here and after spring break.
1-2, fouled back over the press box. 1 out, no runners on for Addie Martin, batting second. Those top 3 in the order for the Falcons, all batting above 300. And in order with batting average as well. Hunt with the best, Martin with the second best, Barrett with the third best. Kind of the epitome of that idea. You get them as many at-bats as possible, especially when they're swinging well. Ball low, 2-2.
Yeah, they pair well together, all 3 kind of different hitting styles. Hannah Hunt likes to get those extra base hits, leads the team in doubles with 12, almost double. The second on the team in doubles, and then Addie Martin, of course, the power hitter, and Taylor Barron, the contact hitter, who can drive those 2 runners in.
2-2 pitch, fouled back into the stands. So good fight for Addie Martin, who's put together a pretty good at-bat, especially if she can get on base. Madeline Reeves trying to get second straight out. There's an off-speed. Outside, just barely. It was a fantastic take by Addie Martin.
Yeah, those pitches are tough to see. Not the thing with those off-speeds for a lot of these softball pitchers, it's not a lot of horizontal movement. It's mostly vertical movement, so it's a little bit easier to kind of read as a hitter.
Payoff pitch, strike 3. Another off-speed. Same pitch that she gave to Hannah Hunt on her strikeout, except Martin can't get a cutoff on it.
Yeah, great pitch. Kind of left that one in the zone, but really froze Martin. I don't think she was really expecting the off-speed on the full count pitch. That's I think that Reeves does very well controlling that off-speed. being able to put that in the zone consistently on a 3-2 count is a very valuable trait in softball pitching.
Ball high. 4 straight games with a strikeout for Addie Martin. All 3 games against Toledo. She had a strikeout 2 in the first game. Now has 1 today. Taylor Barrett with no runners on and 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch, another off-speed outside.
Wow.
She's used that a lot already. And it's been pretty effective.
That's one of those things where, the Falcons might need an at-bat, especially the hitters at the top of the line, to get used to seeing that off-speed, a couple times in the first at-bat. That's one thing that Addie Martin does very well. You see her kind of, especially against these better pitchers, she has a kind of a hard time, in the first at-bat, but by the second at-bat, she usually seems to adjust. Same thing with Hunt and Barron as well. Something to keep in mind there.
1-2, a cut fastball outside. Here's the 1-2 deal from Reeves. Grounded down the third base line, picked up by Pinter, but foul. Golombeski in center field, Kunkel in right, O in left, and then Pinter at third base, Hernandez at short, Parks at second, Carter at first, and McKenna Campbell behind the plate for Miami. 1-2 pitch from Reeves. This one popped in the air on the infield. Stepping in is Hernandez, and she'll make the catch on the pitcher's circle. That'll take care of the inning. 2 strikeouts and a pop-out for Bowling Green and their half of the inning. Led into the top of the second, and Miami will grab their bats again. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Baseball continues on Friday, May 16th with an afternoon matchup against Northern Illinois. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil will be behind the mics starting at 12:45 p.m. for pregame on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Baseball plays the Butler Bulldogs at Stellar Field on Tuesday, May 6th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil and Holden Ruck beginning at 2:45 for pregame and 3 p.m. for the first pitch on Falcon Radio.
1-2-3 inning for Madeline Reeves in the bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second. Ella Carter will lead off for the Red Hawks. Golombeski and Merritt to follow, and actually a pretty dangerous middle bottom of the order for the Red Hawks. Had a double in the first inning, not able to get it around on 2 flyouts to the left fielder. Ella Carter, another righty. We saw in that first inning, actually, the double by Kaylee O that Kendall Matthews misplayed a little bit. It was ruled a double, probably rightly. This one's pulled down the third base line. Addie Martin will try and make the catch in foul territory, and she got it for out number 1. But all those balls, the first inning, pulled. Every ball that was put in play, and that one was as well.
Yeah, that's kind of expected with these hitters who are, I don't want to say, obviously, it's not a big deal because it was a big break between the OU series and the Purdue series. But, when you're facing a Big Ten school and you're facing OU, all 3 pitchers that OU uses are pretty high velocity. Same thing with, obviously, a Big Ten school. So Kravchuk is just a different look. And you expect just generally with the slower pitcher hitters to be more early on it.
Here's the number 1 home run hitter in the MAC right now, Jenna Golombeski, playing center field today. Moved down in the lineup. She was very good the last 2 years. This one's pulled, grounded to Addie Martin, picks it off the dirt, throws it to first, and gets out number 2 on a very nice play by Martin at third base.
It's a great sign early. A lot of good defensive plays. That play by Martin over there, and foul play was good as well. But nice job playing that hop that was right in front of her. Those can be tricky sometimes, and good play over at first by Barrett.
Holly Merritt back in the lefty side of the box with 2 outs for Mackenzie Kravchuk, who's got 4 straight now. Merritt sees a strike on the outside. Actually, interesting tidbit, won 3 straight Tennessee state championships all in a row from 2022 to 2024.
Baylor High
How many
School.
people can say that? How many people can say that they won 1, much less 3 in a row? 0-1 pitch, outside off speed.
Yeah, I think that may have actually just been the University of Baylor roster that they were playing there in high school. With
Baylor High School,
back-to-back state championships.
Yep. She was all-state all 3 of those years as well. 2024, almost a 500 batting average, 11 homers, 52 RBIs, and only one error made in the field. Swing and a miss, a fastball outside. 1-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Holly Merritt and then Pinter batting 8th, and Danitza Hernandez batting 9th.
Merritt, lone freshman in the Red Hawk lineup, having a very good year as a freshman, hitting .292 with an OPS up close to 800.
Fouled back into the screen. That's another interesting aspect about this Miami team. We mentioned Mandy Gardner-Colgate being a new addition, but also a lot of the players in the lineup additions to the team as well, considering Golombeski played against the Falcons last year. Chloe Parks played against the Falcons last year. Kunkel was on the team and didn't. The rest of the team is new to the Falcons. Yep. Even though the Falcons have a new look. Fouled off down the third baseline again. 1-2 count still.
Yeah, it's kind of a new era for these Miami Redhawks. I mean, Kieran Kumar is over, got hired by the Ohio State Buckeyes now. Her team is top 25, 14-5 in Big Ten play, so she hasn't really missed a beat since going over. But all of the prestige that she brought to this program was, extremely impressive. We'll talk about it a little bit later, throughout the broadcast. But she did a lot of things for the program and did a lot of things just for MAC softball in general.
Yeah. Fastball left low by Kraftic, so 2-2 the count. And nice to say, a new era for Miami softball, and yet still 15-7 in the MAC and a winning record overall. An outstanding start for a first-year head coach. Ground ball to Cam Kaufman at shortstop. Throws it over to first and retires 1-2-3 in the top of the second. The Falcons will bat. And the bottom, Cam Kaufman, Kendall Matthews, and then Peyton Steffes. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
Falcon Baseball stays in South Bend to battle Notre Dame on Saturday, May 10th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil beginning at 1:45 for pregame and 2 p.m. for first pitch on Falcon Radio.
Welcome back to Meserve Field, a 0-0 score through 1.5 innings played. The Falcons bat in the bottom of the second. For recaps, previews, all BGSU softball written content, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter, and also the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel for highlight packages and rebroadcasts.
Yeah, even though the school year is ending and softball season is ending here in a week, we'll still have a lot of baseball content as well as a couple other feature stories coming out here at Falcon Media Sports Network. I know Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil will be working very hard over there, especially at the MAC baseball tournament, and making some trips to and from their hometowns back to BG to call some games here for the Falcons.
Yeah, Tyler especially pretty lucky living close enough to Avon to be able to make the trip out there. 1-1 to Cam Kaufman, who has one of the better bats in the team the last couple of games. In the last 2 series, 6 games, all against Central Michigan and Toledo, 10 for 21, 4 runs, 3 RBIs, a double, a walk, and a stolen base as well, kind of heating up. This one grounded over to the pitcher. A play, throw to first base by Reeves. She gets first out of the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4 for her through the 4 batters.
That's not an easy play. Reeves could have made that look extremely nonchalant, very easy, but that's a play a lot of pitchers can have trouble with. You have to be very composed and, reach down, pick it up bare hand, and check it over with a good throw. That can be tough, especially with the softball.
She threw it pretty much standing straight up.
Yeah,
it wasn't even in an athletic position.
Yeah.
Knew she was going to get the out. 1 out, no runners on for Kendall Matthews, batting 5th now. For the majority of the season, when she was in the lineup, batting 9th, and worked her way up to 7th, now up to 5th, batting behind Cam Kaufman.
Yeah, her OPS was, below 700, around, the 680 mark for a lot of the year. She's up near 800 now, thanks to a couple good weeks that she's had. We mentioned 5 hits across her last 4 games, back-to-back 2-hit games for her in the CMU and Toledo series.
0-2. the count now for Kendall Matthews. Gets the 0-2 counts a lot, strikes out a decent bit as well. Madeline Reeves winds and deals, off speed, catches the outside corner for strike 3. Third strikeout of the game, and second looking for Madeline Reeves.
Bowling Green has been a victim of a lot of the strikeouts. Saw a lot against Central Michigan, strikeout games. I believe it was like 7 and 9 in the 2 games against Central Michigan that they had for Central Michigan in terms of the strikeouts that they put on Bowling Green. So Madeline Reeves kind of taking advantage of that here.
Hard fastball outside to Peyton Steffes, batting in the left-handed side of the box. 2 lefties in the order today for the Falcons. It's Steffes batting 6th and Davis batting last for Bowling Green. The 1-0 fouled back into the screen. You know when the ball's fouled directly back and she's on it, you just missed it a little bit depth. Yeah, she was on the speed of it, which is good to see. That was something we didn't see really against Skip Miller, against Anna Wise. We didn't see that. Other very top pitchers in the MAC.
Steph is a solid contact hitter. She's really able to get bat on ball, kind of a lower strikeout number compared to some other Falcons here, but
another drop ball for strike 2. 1-2 pitch from Reeves, swing and a miss. Wow. Sat Steffes down swinging. That's 4 strikeouts and 177 total on the season for Madeline Reeves as she chases 200. McKee, Massaro, and Davis will bat in the bottom of the 3rd, but we're going to get bottom and then top for Miami in the top of the 3rd. Henry, we're at the point where we should do our uniform reviews. You want to describe uniforms for both of these sides today?
Yeah, we were talking about that pregame. Pretty good uniform matchup between these 2 teams. Bowling Green opted for their white with orange pants against Toledo in that doubleheader on Saturday. They're opting for the all-white here against Miami, which I think is maybe one of my personal favorite looks that this team has, with the orange stirrups as well and the orange visors. And Miami's uniform is very clean as well. The white visors with the all-red jersey and pants. Miami likes to keep it simple, I think. They have these uniforms and they have their whites that they wear at home. Other than that, they kind of, stay away from anything too, what's the word? Complicated maybe. Yeah. But they look good, and that's what's important.
Yeah. Yeah, tough to say, who has the better uniform. I think it's just classic look for both sides. I do have a high affinity for red. I think, especially in softball, an all-red uniform is so clean, especially when it's all red and white. Not too much black present in the Miami uniform with the white belt and the white socks and the white helmet. As we look at Erin Pinter, who steps into the right-handed batter's box, playing third base today. It's her, Danitza Hernandez batting 9th, and then Shelby Kunkel back at the top of the order for Miami. They've got 1 hit. It was a double in the first inning by Kaylee O. A lot of pulls for the Miami hitters as well. This one pulled, grounded to Addie Martin at 3rd. Another play made by the left side of the infield for the Falcons.
Second play that Martin has had to make over there at 3rd, and makes it well. It looks like her and Kaufman are going to be in a rhythm here today. Again, not a lot of weather conditions out here, so it doesn't make fielding too difficult. Not that it would apply too much for the infielders, but
yeah, wind slightly blowing right field to left field. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mackenzie Kraftsick, who had a 1-2-3 second inning. Hernandez 9, Kunkel at the top, and then Kaylee Ho to follow. First pitch inside for ball 1. Miami's not afraid to swing early in the count. Seen that a couple of times where they swing on the first, second pitch, even though Falcon pitchers have got deep into counts and kind of struggled even when they get to 0-2 and 1-2 counts.
Yeah, Kraftschick likes to attack early in those counts, although this one is 2-0 now to Hernandez. But, yeah, I mean, she likes to get her up early in the count. We see a lot of 0-2 counts when she manages to hit those locations, but Miami kind of taking advantage of that swing early. Just hasn't quite gone their way so far. Hit kind of right to some BG players, especially Addie Martin over there at 3rd.
2-0 fastball high for ball 3. So now the corners are going to move back a little bit. And Kraftsick's got to come up with something pretty good. 3-0. Caught the belt. Strike 1.
And so Hernandez, one of 3 transfers in the lineup here for the Red Hawks today. Transferred from Phoenix College. They're in Arizona. Made the NJCAA D2 second team.
Pull ground ball. Diving play by Addie Martin. Throws over to first and gets the runner. What a play by the Falcon third baseman. Natural over there at third base.
She's all over it. Tough play, great reaction time. That one comes quick at you, and on these smaller softball fields, that's what, maybe 50 feet, not even from there to
especially
third.
when you're playing even or in with the bag.
That's tougher than it looks out there.
2 outs, no runners on in the top of the third inning. Kraftsick winds, first pitch lifted out in the air, deep left field. Matthews on the track, and it's gone. Shelby Kunkel goes yard against Mackenzie Kraftsick. 1-0 lead for Miami.
Yeah, I took advantage of the outside pitch, just kind of leaned on it, let it do the work, and pushed it right out onto the top of the bullpen out there in the left field. 8th home run on the year for Kunkel. That's second most, tied for second most on the team now with Ella Carter. Makes it a 1-0 ball game as Miami jumps on Bowling Green here.
Henry, we've complained a lot about the weather here in Missouri Field. I think with the weather a week ago, might have stayed in the yard.
I think it would have, yeah. Yeah, Miami, a power-oriented team, now 61 home runs on the year. That's first in the MAC and 12 more than the second-place team, 49 for Ball State in second place. So they like to hit those home runs, especially at the top of the lineup here with Kunkel, O, Parks, and Campbell.
Kaylee O is up at the plate. Takes the first pitch, strike outside. Here's the line of the deal from Kraftsick. Goes inside, but up and in for ball one.
Kaylee O, another one of those transfers that Gardner Colgate brought in all the way from Oregon State, there where she served mostly as a pinch runner, native of Murrieta, California.
Swinging a foul ball. Looked like off of the hand. Baven McKee as she shakes it out, but 1-2 count for Kraftsick. They'll give McKee a breather as the umpire walks out to the mound. No runners on. Have not had a base runner since the first inning. Kaylee O was that base runner. Her double was stranded there on 2 flyouts to left field. Getting the sense, Henry, that the right side of the infield and the outfield not going to get too much work, considering where Miami's laying their hits down. This one lifted in the air to center field. It's going to fall in. Texas Leaguer to center. Nobody covering second, but O is going to stay at first base. She's got 2 hits today. 2 out, 1 base hit.
Well placed ball by O. That one, she had to reach out a little bit for it, but just kind of let it do the work and placed it well right in the gap between, Hunt and Kaufman, and then center fielder Massaro is playing pretty far back there in center field.
This is second baseman number 4.
But imagine through a lot of the season that a lot of their singles have come in that variety, considering how deep the outfielders have to play to cut off so many extra base hits.
Yeah.
Outside corner, strike 1 to Chloe Parks. Parks is a double machine. 18 doubles on the season, I should say. It's the majority of her plus 500 slugging percentage, 519 in fact. Still on base, McKee, her throw not in time. And Kaylee O will take second pretty cleanly. Now a single scores a run for Miami, who had 2 straight outs, putting together a 2-out rally now.
That's 15 stolen bases on the year for O. Miami really loves to steal those bases. Now they have 3 players over double-digit stolen bases on the year compared to only 1. That's Addie Martin for Bowling Green.
1-1. Sliced in the air to left field. Matthews reaches up, puts it away. Hovering line drive, but that retires the inning for Miami. They get 1 run, strand 1 on base, and we head to the Falcon bats in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-0 Miami leads on Falcon Radio.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
BGSU Baseball finishes off a 3-game series against Toledo on Sunday, May 4th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network, Tyler Kavlitz, and Caden Knapp on the call starting at 1 p.m. for first pitch on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The home run by Shelby Kunkel in the top of the third inning gave Miami a 1-0 lead over Bowling Green. Ben Craig here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network at Missouri Field, the final MAC series of the season for the Falcons, who play Notre Dame on the road tomorrow, and then Robert Morris at home this weekend to close out the 2025 season. A successful one at that, I would say, in the first year of Michelle Gardner, as McKee steps up to the bat for Bowling Green.
Yeah, interesting schedule that has kind of worked out the way it has here. Notre Dame game rescheduled. That was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, but got, I believe, rained out. And these Miami games got rescheduled from Tuesday, so they end up playing 6 games in the span of 4 days here at the end of the year, 4 of them being non-conference.
It's a good pressure test for Bowling Green at the end of the season as well, to be able to play a doubleheader today. McKee takes a ball high. To be able to play a doubleheader today, go on the road and travel tomorrow to South Bend, play a game there, and then come back home and play a 3-game weekend.
Yeah.
Shades of the non-conference schedule.
Yeah, it's almost like it's one of those early season tournaments that they're playing, except you have to travel from one state back to another in a day.
2-0 count. Reeves 6 up, 6 down for her through the first 2 innings. McKee, Massaro, and Davis on the tab for Bowling Green. This one lifted in the air to left field, pretty deep. Kaylee O circles under it and puts it away for out number 1.
I mean, looking back on how BG has kind of performed against, some of these top teams, in the MAC, and some of these top pitchers, Skip Miller really kind of had Bowling Green's number when she was through 8 scoreless, and the NOIs through 3 2/3 scoreless as well. Falcons got to Mickey leaving there in game 2 of that series. Shout out to Skip Miller, threw a no-hitter yesterday against Ball State, and then a split of a doubleheader between those 2 top MAC teams.
You know what?
She's en route to her 3rd straight All-MAC first-team appearance.
Thanks for reminding me, Henry. Madeline Reeves, who's pitching right now for Miami, has a 1-0 count to Hannah Massaro. No hit Bowling Green in 2024.
She did, yeah.
Off speed, drops it right in the zone. 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 68 pitches in 6 innings last year against Bowling Green. And 6-inning run rule. Hannah Massaro up to the plate now. 1 for 10 versus Toledo. 2 RBIs, 3 strikeouts though. 1-2 count.
The big thing about the Falcons this year, we saw so many run rules up north of double-digit run rule games, even in MAC play. There was a lot. Last year, the team hasn't really had too many of those this year, especially against these bigger teams. They've at least had that one right over the head.
One of the trainers just got hit pretty square, I think. It was a good rip by Massaro. Just about 35 feet foul. Looks like everybody's okay. 1-2 count from Reeves. Off speed, strike 3. Got her looking. 3rd strikeout looking of the day, and 5 total for Madeline Reeves.
5 of the first 8 batters put down by the way of the strikeout.
Lainey Davis, 2nd lefty in the order for Bowling Green. Certainly more of a contact hitter. Very good with runners on base. 3rd baseman Pinter playing way in at 3rd. 1st baseman crouching in. Taking a couple steps up in the box is Delaney Davis. Sees the ball high.
Davis turns a lot of her offense by either weak contact or the bunt. That's why you see these corner infielders playing way in pretty much even with Madeline Reeves in the pitcher's circle. Kind of adapted to her offensive style.
Tries to lay a bunt down. Fouls it off of the catcher, McKenna Campbell, for strike 1, 1-1. Lainey Davis, her last 6 games started, which has been sporadic over the last couple of weeks. 1 for 15. Run, walk, and a stolen base. Alternating out her Katie Hutter, Ashley Chevalier, last couple of weeks. Rotated in and out. That extra batter. 1-1, sliced down the 3rd base line and foul.
I mean, we've seen kind of a rotation. You mentioned Davis, Chevalier. We've seen Massaro. Their Hutter has been the typical DP, and then you typically see Yeah, I mean, you mentioned her and Chevalier. Hutter has been kind of cold past couple of weeks, so Davis gets a look after she got a hit against Toledo in the last game.
Lays a bunt down the first base line, fielded by Carter, who throws the first. Safe at first, Delaney Davis. Perfect bunt.
Doesn't get much better than that. I think bunting is an art for sure.
Oh my gosh!
And I think
it's
she's kind of mastered it. That was perfect. Right down the first base line, not far enough where first baseman Ella Carter can get to it quickly, but not too short to where the catcher can get to it. Just perfect spot, and Delaney Davis has that speed. Not too hard for her to get down the line and leg out an infield single.
8 in a row before that single. Breaks up the no-hitter. This one lifted in the air to left field. Gone! Hannah Hunt gives Bowling Green a 2-1 lead.
Just like that. Doesn't take too much. Davis maybe giving her a little motivation. Third home run on the year for Hunt as Falcons are going to celebrate at home in the huddle. Tap the helmet of Hannah Hunt.
Such versatility with this team. A bunt single and then a home run. Back-to-back, 9-1. Now we have Addie Martin coming up with 2 outs. Every run scored in this game so far has been in the third inning, has also been with 2 outs on 2 home runs. One by Miami and now one for Bowling Green.
And that's how quick it can happen. I'm sure Reeves is maybe a little bit in shock after she dominates the first 8 batters of this Falcon lineup.
Yeah.
They come around and bunt single and a quick home run by that she struck out looking in 3 pitches in the first at-bat for Hunt. Now hits her third homer of the year to left.
First home run since March 7th for Hannah Hunt. It's been a while. 1-0 off-speed high to Addie Martin. Not only is that big to get on the scoreboard, but even maybe getting the head of Madeline Reeves, who was cruising there for, as I mentioned, those first 8 batters.
Break the rhythm.
Break the rhythm up a little bit. Now down 2-0 to Addie Martin, and she rolls one up to the plate for ball 3.
That could be the sort of thing where maybe she was just getting a little overconfident, maybe just kind of left one in the zone against Hunt because she figured out she wasn't on it last at-bat. No way she's going to be on it this time.
And in all fairness, 3 strikeouts looking. A couple of those were pretty piped. 3-0 pitch. Catches the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Martin, Barrett, and Kaufman on tap for the Falcons, but 2 outs. No runners on.
Martin struck out Lookie on an off-speed. Got to a full count, though, in her first at-bat.
3-1. This one lifted down the left field line. Is going to be foul and not playable for Kaylee O, who gave a run at it.
It's going to be a full count again. See if Martin can get a different outcome. She was really on the ball. Had to just reach out. It was a little bit early on it.
Yeah.
He just evened that out a little bit more, and that one could have been double in the gap.
Struck out looking in the first inning. Now has a full count. Swinging a drive. Deep left field. Kaylee O looks back, and it's gone. Back-to-back for Bowling Green. They have a 3-1 lead over Miami.
No doubter. That one almost got over the bullpen. I think it would if the netting didn't go up a little bit there on the back end of it. Addie Martin and Hunt back-to-back. Martin embraces teammates there at home plate. 3-1 game, just like that for Bowling Green.
Very good third inning so far, all with 2 outs. 3 runs scored. Bunt single by Delaney Davis sets up a Hannah Hunt 2-run home run. Now a solo shot for Addie Martin. Now Taylor Barrett's trying to keep it going.
13 homers on the year now. Addie Martin mentioned she was homerless for the past couple of weeks. Breaks that streak there. Breaks her tie with Samantha Bolding, who had 4 home runs against BG last weekend.
Barrett shows bunt, pulls it back, strike 1. Madeline Reeves now 3 earned runs in 3 innings of work. Another pitch high. Missing the zone a little bit more now since that bunt single by Davis. Hannah Hunt got ahead in her count, but she missed the zone for 3-0 against Martin. Now 1-1 to Barrett. Up high again, 2-1.
It hasn't been, we talked a lot about how Reeves has had a lot of success, this year, obviously, but it hasn't been, all great things for her. Her last time out against Purdue, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Before that, 3 1/3 with 5 earned runs against OU. So she's no stranger to, some offensive production against her.
2-1 off speed high for 3-1. Not only missing the hard stuff, she's missing the slow stuff as well. Now Barrett with a very favored hitters count. Field playing pretty straight up. Corners in. Fastball low in the zone, strike 2. Now the payoff pitch coming from Madeline Reeves with 2 outs. Strike 3 looking to Taylor Barrett. It's the 4th strikeout look into the game for Bowling Green, but they get 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning on 2 home runs back-to-back for Hannah Hunt and Addie Martin. Now we'll head to a quick break. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
BG Baseball heads north up the I-75 to take on the Toledo Rockets on Tuesday, May 13th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil will guide listeners through the action starting at 2:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
First pitch from Kraftsick to the catcher for Miami, Campbell, is low and inside for ball 1. 1 run on 2 hits in the top of the 3rd inning for Miami. 3 runs on 3 hits for Bowling Green in the bottom of the 3rd as the Falcons lead 3-1 in the top of the 4th inning. Campbell, Carter, and Golombeski. 1-0 pitch from Kraftsick inside. Caught the corner for strike 1.
Campbell flew out to left in her first at-bat in the first. A great plate discipline is kind of her big strength. 13th in the MAC and on-base percentage. 22 walks on the year.
Yanked down the third baseline foul. Amazing to have such offensive prowess as a catcher. We talked about this with, as I'm sure a lot of broadcasters have, Michaela Timmons.
Yep.
Earlier in the year, one of the best hitters in the MAC, also a fantastic catcher. But to be able to have success offensively while also managing a pitcher, managing the entire field pretty much. 1-2 pitch from Kraftsick to Campbell, just outside.
Miami really, you can tell kind of the way they recruit is they look for height. You see a lot of players over 5'7", near 5'8", even a couple of 5'11", even Ella Carter's at 6 foot. Michaela Timmons obviously is maybe the tallest player in the MAC.
2-2 pitch, lifted in the air, left center field. Massaro tracking and makes the catch. Hannah Massaro in center field. Fantastic grab for the first out.
Massaro, fantastic defensive outfielder. That's why they put her in center and trust her at that position as a freshman. Good job by Matthews also being able to get out of the way. Good communication that can go poorly if you don't tell each other who's getting the ball there. Matthews peeled away at the right moment, so 1 down for Mackenzie Kraftschick.
Only 1 error since switching to center field for Hannah Massaro. She moved from left field to first base for a while and then to center field within the last 2 weeks. Grounded down the third baseline foul. Also in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, playing shortstop her junior year in high school and center outfield her senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Just an impressive all-around outfielder. Ella Carter now up to the plate, popped out to Addie Martin down the third baseline in the 2nd inning.
Oh, we've even seen Massaro at first base as well this year.
Jeez, this was scorched down the third baseline and foul.
Addie Martin extremely busy over there at third base.
Yeah.
This game.
You got to be on your toes. Her, Cam Kaufman, Kendall Matthews have got a lot of work so far.
They call it the hot corner for a reason.
0-2 pitch from Kraftsick. Off speed, just missed her spot. Ella Carter, John Golembeski. Behooves you a lot of the time to make sure there's nobody on base when Golembeski comes up, considering she's got 42 RBIs on the season and her 17 home runs. 1-2 pitch, way missed. Fastball in the other batter's box. Really don't want to lose Carter with her lurking on deck. 2-2 pitch. Off speed. Oh, just down.
Just missed it.
And
yeah.
that was close.
That was a great location, just maybe an inch too low.
Heck of a spot. Amazing that Carter didn't pull the trigger on it. She's riding a 3-game hit streak, so she's looking to extend it. Payoff pitch from Kraftsick. Inside and got her. First free bag of the game for any player. It goes to Ella Carter with Jenna Golembeski stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, Carter kind of crowding in on the plate. That one just kind of gets in there on her knee. That pokes out a little bit towards the inside of the right batter's box. So 1 on and 1 out now. Golembeski, RBI leader for this team.
First pitch outside. Golembeski has had only 1 hit since April 11th against Ball State. During that span, over her last 9 games started, 1 for 29. 2 RBIs, a stolen base, 10 strikeouts for her. Ground ball to third base. Addie Martin throws over to second, but it's out of the reach of Hannah Hunt. Carter will round and head to third. Going to be an error on the throw from Addie Martin. Runners at the corners with 1 out for Holly Merritt.
That one just escaped the glove of Hannah Hunt. Had to reach out to her right just a little bit too far. It would have been a close play at second regardless if Carter was going to be called safe or out. She gets an extra base, and that's going to be an error first of the day for either team. E5 at that.
First and third, Holly Merritt, the designated player, grounded out to Cam Kaufman in the second inning. This is more to the likings that we've seen of Kraftsick a lot of the season. This one's low and away. Not always a negative thing, but allowing runners on and being able to work her way out of trouble. At least now we know that she can work her way out of trouble. She's had success at that all year. 3-1, BG leads top of the 4th inning. Bottom 3 in the lineup up. This one, line drive past Cam Kaufman to shortstop. It's going to get a run in. Held at second is Golembeski. First and second. And an RBI single for Holly Merritt.
Solid contact. We're seeing Redhawks being able to get on Kraftsick a little bit more, especially on these pitches down in the zone, as here comes Gardner to come out and talk to Kraftsick, try to get her out of this little jam with 2 on and 1 out.
You see Morgan Beckham getting some work in the bullpen. Aaron Pinter, the third baseman, is going to be up at the plate. Danitza Hernandez, the shortstop, going to be up after her. Both of them grounded out to the third baseman in their last at-bats. So Kraftsick probably hearing something to the effect of low in the zone, get a ground ball, and try and get 2 outs with 1 swing.
Yeah, I mean, Kraftsick typically works low in the zone. That's the reason we don't see a lot of home runs off of her. It's because it's hard to get the ball, get your bat under those low pitches, especially on those low fastballs, low and inside.
Golembeski can run. She's at second base, 14 stolen bases on 15 attempts this season. Very rare to see a stolen base of third, but to get yourself at a harder double play, especially with the arm of Addie Martin, a ground ball to her, she just has to step and throw.
And it puts the extra pressure on Ava McKee, the freshman catcher, to not let anything get away from you, even in the slightest.
With the righty in the batter's box as well. Shows bunt, now a stolen base to third. Cam Kaufman can't hold on. The ball trickles out almost to the grass. That's going to get another run in. And 2 bags are going to be gained by Miami, and they'll tie the game up at 3.
Yeah, I mean, Addie Martin kind of ran away from third. I think she kind of had to be there to receive that play. And then Kaufman came over, and it was just a little bit too late. Couldn't quite get her feet set and receive the ball.
Pinter showed bunt and then pulled it back. So Addie Martin pulled up to home plate. Kaufman had to cover third. Second base was wide open. And then when Kaufman couldn't wrangle it in, so here's a ball low and away. 2-1. When Kaufman couldn't hold it in, there was nobody at shortstop to come pick her up.
Yeah, it's going to be charged as an E2 on Ava McKee.
Ground ball to the second baseman. Hannah Hunt makes the play, and the runner will score. So a 4-3 lead now for Miami. He's got 3 runs in this inning on a couple of errors. No runners on, 2 outs now for Danitza Hernandez.
Yeah,
the job is done for Miami.
Yeah, Pinter gets the job done. All she had to do was really just put something in play with some solid contact. Gets that one done. So Miami has the lead now, 4-3, but we saw how quickly BG can, or any team really, can take back the lead here with power in play.
Kraftic off speed just outside. All 3 runs unearned, considering the throwing error by Eddie Martin to advance the runner. And also the throwing error by Ava McKee. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, no runners on. Ground ball past Addie Martin at third base and into the outfield. Matthews will get it in, but Danitza Hernandez singles, brings up the top of the order.
Yeah, it's not going to be good for Krafchick, who kind of had to get out of the inning, didn't want to see the top of the lineup in this inning. That one just kind of found the gap in between Kaufman and Martin. Just good placement by Hernandez after she ground out to third base in her first at-bat, makes the adjustment, hits it a little bit further towards the field and in the gap in that hit.
Shelby Kunkel at the plate, homered in the 3rd inning, was the only run scored in that inning. It was 2-out swing. She's got 2 outs now and a runner on first. Kunkel 2 for 13 in her last 4 games. This one lifted in the air, deep to center field. Hannah Massaro's going to look up. This one's gone. 2 home runs for Shelby Kunkel today. Gives Miami a 6-3 lead.
You know, some players just have Kenzie Krafchick's number sometimes, and you see that here today. Shelby Kunkel really, after her first at-bat, she struck out. She learned her lesson, and now back-to-back home runs in her 2 at-bats. So 6-3 lead for Miami, and blow-up inning for Krafchick.
And yet still unearned runs, considering the 2 errors and an expected out at least. Extended the inning, especially the hit after it was 2 outs. That extra error would have made it 3.
I mean, defense was going to be a big factor here today. If BG could manage to just keep those errors off the board, it was going to be a big deal, and they just haven't managed to do that. Managed to do that in the first couple innings, but I mean, you know, that's one thing that we've kind of talked about a lot up here in the broadcast booth throughout the year is errors that have kind of come back to plague Falcons, especially in big moments with runners in scoring position.
Fouled off, 1-1. 5 runs in this inning already for Miami. There is 2 outs. They've already scored 2, actually 3 total with 2 outs. Kraftic, this one's lifted in the air to center field. Hannah Massaro's going to run all the way in. As she misplayed it, is going to make a basket catch to take care of the inning. Not before Miami gets 5. Bowling Green will have to get a couple more back. 6-3 Miami leads after the top of the 4th. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network. Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Kaufman, Matthews, and Peyton Steffes, the three up for Bowling Green as they trail 3 through 3.5 innings of work. Ben Craig here with Henry Costco. Henry, 5 runs, none of them earned in that top of the 4th inning for Miami, but they got all of them on 3 hits. BG's got some work to do.
Yeah, I mean, besides Shelby Kunkel, it's been, a lot of weak contact and a lot of, maybe finding spots, but just Miami forcing Bowling Green to make those errors by, the double steal that they had there in that inning.
Pop out on the infield. Danitza Hernandez under it at shortstop. She'll take care of out number 1.
BG not out of this game in the slightest. 3 runs is obviously still very manageable, and we saw them put up 3 quickly against Reeves in the 3rd inning. They can surely do that again here. The one problem that they have had, Ben, is scoring late in these games. A lot of these games they've had against these top opponents, they've put up runs early and then just kind of fallen off as you get towards the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. They need to not do that in this game, and they need to get some runs here late against this pitcher that really does like to settle in here late in these games, especially when she has a lead.
1-0 pitch from Reeves, low for ball 2, 2-0. BG's run differential 1st inning, 56-41, very good. And the 2nd inning, a losing differential. The 3rd inning, a very losing differential, 77-24.
Yikes.
And then after that, all losing differentials for the Falcons. The only one that they have the lead in is the 1st and tied in the 4th.
The big one is the 6th, 40-22. That's where you see them lose a lot of those games.
And every extra inning game, they've come away with a loss as well. 2-1 pitch, high, 3-1.
And we saw that in the Toledo game where Morgan Beckham was pitching outstanding as she got put in relief. That game got taken to 10 because BG just couldn't quite get any offense on the board to help Beckham out.
3-1 pitch from Madeline Reeves. Check swing, fouled off. Matthews a little bit unhappy about going around a little bit too much. It looked like ball 4. Reeves yet to walk anybody. The only walk total in the game is a hit by pitch from Mackenzie Kraftsick. Payoff pitch from Reeves with 1 out. Matthews fights it off.
I mean, you mentioned those walks. Reeves does lead the MAC in walks, but only 102 and 200 innings, so about 1 every 2 innings again.
Matthews struck out looking in the 2nd on a full count versus Toledo, 3 for 9. Couple of runs, couple of RBIs. 4 games straight, she's reached base safely. Swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the game for Kendall Matthews.
They're really having a hard time. I think it's especially the bottom of the order is having a hard time with that off speed. Just seeing it when Reeves gets up in the count, they have to protect, and they're just not able to get bat on ball or maybe see it properly. Just kind of drops out of their field of view.
7 strikeouts now for Madeline Reeves. 2 outs for Steffes. Steffes pops it up infield. Danitza Hernandez ranges back. It's going to be Kaylee O that takes care of the ball, takes care of the inning. 6-3, Miami leads after 4 full. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Welcome back to Missouri Field. 6-3, Miami leads in the first leg of this Bowling Green versus Miami doubleheader to conclude the MAC regular season for the Falcons. Our second game of the doubleheader is going to take place on WBGU 88.1 FM on any radio, streaming on BGFalconMedia.com. If you want to stay on this radio station at 3 p.m., Coyle Withrow and Noah Seeley will have the broadcast of Bowling Green baseball versus Findlay. again on Falcon Radio. That should be a pretty good game for Bowling Green. Try and continue getting in the win column as they try and close out their season strong. UG baseball been a pretty strong contender all year, although when you put it in the context of last year, Henry, not so much. But I feel better about their chances in the tournament, especially.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hot at the right time.
I mean, it's interesting the way those standings have kind of worked out. It's Ball State, Miami, Kent State, and BG who are really above. I believe it's like 5 or 6 games where they're above Toledo and Eastern, who are in 5th or 6th. So it's going to be those top 4 teams who are going to be battling out for that title. That's going to be an interesting race to follow if you're even if you're not just a BG baseball fan, but if you're a Mac sports fan in general.
Chloe Parks, 0 for 2 today, fly out and a line out. Both to the left fielder. That's opposite field for her, standing in the left-handed batter's box. It's Morgan Beckham now on the mound for the Falcons, taking the place of Mackenzie Kraftick. Kraftick finishes her day, 4 innings pitched, 6 runs, 1 earned, and 1 strikeout, no walks. Didn't seem like she pitched too badly, but those errors really put a lot of stress on her in the 4th inning, and I completely understand Gardner going for a different look here.
Yeah, I mean, Beckham likes to, with that higher velocity, she can keep the ball on the ground a little bit more and maybe give a different look for Miami.
Another opposite field swing, lifted in the air to left field. Retires Chloe Parks. McKenna Campbell stepping up. Ella Carter on deck. Yeah, like you said, it might just be matchups kind of thing for Gardner. You don't see righty-lefty too often in the game of softball, but maybe just the style of pitcher. Beckham does throw harder, has a little bit better stuff.
Beckham, 2 outings against Toledo, both of them 2 2/3 innings. First one was 4 earned runs. Second one was only 1 earned run. One of those was that extra inning game where she threw well for the first couple innings, but I mean, you can only hold on for so long. Gave up a couple runs there in the 10th that eventually led to the walk-off for Toledo.
Waist high strike. Next one bounces up to McKee, who scoops it out of the dirt for ball 1. 1-1 the count.
The freshman pitching has been a bright spot just in general, especially in MAC play. I mean, not a lot of expectations, I think, for Beckham and Marshall coming into the season, but I mean, as the year has progressed, we've kind of built up, a little bit of a trust for them, even, in a lot of stressful situations, especially Morgan Beckham, who's, had issues here and there that she's been working out, but that comes with any freshman pitcher. And I mean, we've talked about this. Her arsenal is outstandanding as far as velocity, and her off speed is still developing as well. As in a couple of years, she's going to be a pitcher. If she can stay healthy, that's going to be, ace worthy, I think.
Beckham gets her call, 2-1 pitch, high again, 3-1 the count. And even coming into this year, Henry, we were looking a little bit toward the freshman Sydney Marshall more, considering her repertoire and her past, considering 2021 National Freshman of the Year and a freshman All-American, her first year of high school. Thought she was going to be the better of the arms, but it's even better to see Morgan Beckham be the better, because the potential Sydney Marshall has, and to see Beckham be arguably your ace this season, arguably your better pitcher, has just been outstanding and a good look for the Falcon pitching staff that struggled.
Yeah, we've seen bright spots from Sydney Marshall as well. She was dealt with some injuries there in the middle of the season. She's come back here last couple of weeks and gave us some solid outings. Had 5 scores against Ball State. Had a couple other solid outings, including one in the Toledo series over the weekend.
Payoff pitch loses McKenna Campbell, so she'll take a stride out to first base. Ella Carter up and was hit by a pitch. Actually scored the first run of the big inning in the 4th. Advanced to second on an error throw by Addie Martin at third, and then scored on an error throw by Ava McKee, catcher. That's how that big inning started. Lifted in the air, shallow right field. Trying to make a play is Hannah Hunt. She dives, can't make it. Throw to second to try and get the runner is safe. It's going to be a very shallow, light hit fly ball that barely falls in. Hannah Hunt a little bit shaken up on her dive.
Yeah, hopefully she's okay. Taylor Barron and Coach Michelle Gardner are going to go out and check on her, but I think that should have been Steffes' ball going out there in right field. The right fielder always has a better look when she has to come in on it versus Hunt, who had to go all the way back, pretty much halfway through the outfield to get to that one.
Yeah, Steffes probably should have called her off.
I think so, yeah.
On that.
Just didn't have as good of a jump.
Yeah. And again, worth noting, it did hit Hannah Hunt in the glove. She very
close,
easily could have made the play. It's just a very tough play. She'll get a little bit of a jog to make sure she's okay. Runner on first and second. It's Jenna Golembeski who's up. She had runners on the last time she came up to the plate. Reached on an error by Addie Martin. Advanced to third on an error by Ava McKee. Very dangerous hitter to have up to the plate. Looks like Hannah Hunt's going to be okay. Certainly good that the Falcons' second baseman is all right, still playing.
I mean, she's had such a great year at second base.
And in the
staple
order as well.
Yeah, one of the staples of the Falcon lineup. When I see her continue to stay healthy and productive. Falcon team as a junior going into her senior year next year in 2026. Hopefully she stays around.
Golembeski up. Runners on first and second. She's had 2 ground balls so far, which would be big for trying at a double play ball. Lists this one back and foul. 0-1. Although the advantage of having Kraftic in this situation is soft contact ground balls. Beckham is gives up a little bit more hard contact, but less contact, I'd say.
Yeah.
So maybe not necessarily the look you'd like. I'd swing and a miss. 0-2.
Yeah, Beckham is kind of an outlier when you look at batting average against, the 5.1 ERA, but a 268 batting average against. I think that tells you a little bit of the story there. Maybe a little bit of unlucky results that she's gotten.
Lifted in the air. Left field, Kendall Matthews will have to take some strides in. Calls off Cam Kaufman, makes the play, and holds the runners on base. What an effort.
That's a huge
from these
play.
From all of these fielders for Bowling Green in the 6-3 game.
That is a huge play.
Massive play.
If that ends up falling down, that could be potentially bases loaded and 2 outs. So, I mean, we'll see here what happens here in the end of as they get toward the end of the inning. But that could end up being a crucial play that might save the game ultimately.
Righty in the box now, Holly Merritt. So this is a different look we're going to see now, especially for the infield. Fouled back in the screen. She was on that ball. Just missed it low. Aaron Pinter to follow. Danitza Hernandez at the bottom of the order. Campbell Carter and Golembeski have batted 2 innings in a row. Merritt now is batting in her 2nd inning in a row after the 5-run 4th inning for Miami. Beckham an 0-1 count, deliver strike 2.
Great off speed there.
Yeah.
Caught Merritt a little bit off guard. Dropped that one in 0-2 count. Maybe I can see if she can get out of this jam.
Last 3 appearances, 9 1/3 innings pitched, 8 earned runs. Her previous 9 appearances, she only had 6 earned runs. This one's popped out to Taylor Barrett at first base, and she'll take care of it. One of the first pulled balls from a lefty that we've seen all game. Takes Bowling Green out of the inning. 2 runs, but no score for Morgan Beckham in her first inning of work in the 5th. We have bottom of the 5th coming up. And, Henry, we have some other things to talk about going on in the BG area, including staying in the BG area and staying in the orange and brown as well.
Yeah, Harold Fannin Jr. drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. That's big news, obviously, for a lot of Bowling Green fans who may also be fans of the Cleveland Browns. It's a pretty good story. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what happens there. I know, Ben, it's a pretty big moment for Bowling Green as well.
You, especially as a Browns fan, and a Bowling Green fan, that's a really cool, really cool aspect to it, is to see not only orange and brown, but 2 teams that you root for. You know, the Browns also do play my Lions this year as well, so
that's gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna have to root for Fannin and against the Browns this year. Oddly enough,
it's gonna be an interesting pairing. David Njoku is the big veteran tight end.
Yeah,
Cleveland has been there for one of the veteran players who's been there for almost 6-7 years now, and he'll be kind of serve as a good mentor for Harold Fannin as he progresses in his career. I mean, a lot of other things going on in Cleveland that fans are kind of talking about, like a certain guy named Shadur Sanders.
Oh yeah,
comes to Cleveland as well.
Yeah, how about that quarterback room for the Browns as well?
How about it? It's something, that's for sure.
Yeah, certainly something. Won't list off all the names, but there's 5 of them. 2 of them taken in the same draft. Which, in my opinion, one of them is going to be a waste of a pick, but it is what it is.
So they're going to have to cut one of them. You can't have 5 quarterbacks on the same roster.
Needless to say.
I mean, maybe you can, but.
Yeah, maybe. Needless to say, Fannin seems to be the most valuable pick for the Browns, considering 3rd round, I feel like is a steal for how great of a player he was.
Yeah.
1-0 count to McKee. McKee gives it a ride out to left field. Ranging back, Kaylee O at the fence. It's going to fall down. O falls down on the warning track. Ava McKee with a no-out double to start the 5th inning.
How about Ava McKee? Great contact. Flew out to left on some great contact as well in her first at-bat. Got it to fall that time right against the fence. That was Kaylee O over there who almost made the play. Went up against the fence, just didn't quite fall her way. So a good leadoff double. The Falcons are in action here in the bottom of the 5th.
Good situation. Hannah Massaro is going to come up with a pretty clutch situation if she can convert it. Again, 1 for 10 against the Rockets in the Battle of I-75 3-game series. 3 strikeouts as well. Struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Shows bunt, pulls it back for strike 1.
Charles struggled from the offensive side of the ball. He mentioned all the defensive prowess that she had, but she's had a solid few weeks here. 3-game hit streak in between the series of Central Michigan and Toledo, but 0 for 5 and 0 for 3 in her last 2 games.
0-1 pinch, but 0-1 pitch. The bunt is fouled off. She had 2 RBIs in the first game against Toledo. Before that, you'd have to go all the way back to March 29th against Ball State here at Meserve Field for her last RBI. So it's been a while. 0-2, swing and a miss. Strikeout, swing in, 1 out, runner on second for Delaney Davis.
Well, this is a hitter that you want kind of up in this situation, a player who can kind of puts everything on the line to just advance the runner and get herself on base no matter what. Reached on a bunt single in her first at-bat. I don't think Miami's really going to let that happen here in this at-bat. You typically see her get away with 1 per game if she's lucky. We'll see. It's going to have to be a perfect bunt if she decides to go that route, or maybe slap some into that big hole there in right field.
Again, the issue becomes the third baseman, Aaron Pinter, who's going to have to charge on 1. Somebody's going to have to cover third as well. And fakes the slap, leaves it away, 2-0. First baseman playing way in, it's Ella Carter. Aaron Pinter at third. She's probably a good third of the way from third base to home.
Ava McKee, not a big speed threat, only 1 stolen base on the year for her.
Shortstop Hernandez playing in as well, and watches pitch go high to Delaney Davis. So she's got a 3-0 count and a base open for Reeves.
That would be bad for Reeves if she allows Davis to get on base with the top of the lineup. Yep.
Yeah. Hannah Hunt, who's already homered. Here's the 3-0 pitch from Reeves. Outside.
Wow.
Lets her take it.
That's surprising.
Now you do have a forced play and a slower runner on second base.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a situation
so maybe not the worst thing in the world,
yeah.
but you are putting another possible run on the board. Looks like we're going to get a stroll out to the mound, and the Red Hawks are going to talk it over. We are going to get a pinch runner as well. Reagan Stephanie is going to head out to second base. Ava McKee is going to come in.
I like that move.
I love that move with 1 out.
Will be the
now Davis is fast at first.
Yeah.
Reagan Stephanie is fast at second. Do we see a double steal as Miami did?
I don't think you can do it with Hannah Hunt at the plate. Maybe if it was the bottom of the order, you risk it just to get rid of the double play and put them in position. But I mean,
although
they both are speedy. So
Hannah Hunt in the righty side of the batter's box does have a rough look for the catcher, McKenna Campbell.
That is true.
Behind the plate.
Yeah, we saw Miami execute that to perfection earlier in the game, caused an error that eventually scored a run from second in this very same situation. I mean, they're definitely talking over what to do. They probably definitely looking out for that double steal.
Last caught stolen base was April 12th against Ball State for McKenna Campbell. But Purdue-Fort Wayne, who was their last game, had 5 stolen bases clean. She did not catch a single one of them. So also worth noting. And again, if you pinch run Reagan Stephanie and she doesn't advance, you've wasted your runner. It's lifted out in the air, shallow right field, playable for the second baseman Parks, and Chloe Parks will take care of the second out of the inning. So now you have Addie Martin up with 2 runners on, but 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean that's just a tough. Decide to attack early in the count. If you get a hit that falls your way, it's a good decision. If it doesn't fall your way, then it's kind of looked at in a negative way. But Just how it rolls sometimes.
Line past a diving shortstop, Hernandez. This might get a run in. Reagan Stephanie slides in at home. The ball is muffed by McKenna Campbell. Addie Martin's going to advance to second. Delaney Davis to third. It's a one-run single for Addie Martin.
She's gonna advance to second, and I think that pinch runner really got that run
yeah.
home. That was a close play at home, and
McKee would have never scored.
Yeah, Campbell only wasn't able to make that play because she didn't quite control the ball right away. So.
Yeah, the ball was getting there right as Stephanie was sliding.
Yep.
And I think Stephanie sliding into the legs of Campbell kind of interfered with her ability to catch the ball.
Yep.
Beat the throw anyway. 2 outs and now second and third for Taylor Barrett, who contact hit her a lot of singles. Singles should score 2. Grounds it down the third baseline, foul. Martin very fast at second base, can score. Delaney Davis should score on a single.
Big opportunity for Taylor Barrett. Both of these runs could tie up the game if they can get them home.
0-1 pitch, off speed, and a good leave low for Barrett. Barrett 4 for 13 against the Rockets over the weekend. Run, a walk, and a strikeout. Only 1 error since moving back to first base. She's a very solid first baseman, playing a lot of third base last year. 1-1, ground ball to the third baseman, Pinter. Pinter throws over to first, and that'll be the inning for Bowling Green. They get 1 back and make it a 6-4 ball game at the top of the 6th inning. 2 more runs to do. Morgan Beckham will be back on the mound. BGSU softball on Falcon Radio.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Women's track and field travels to Athens to participate in the MAC Outdoor Championships, starting Thursday, May 15th and running through Saturday, May 17th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Rupp will have the recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
One run on 2 hits and a walk in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Falcons. They narrow it to a 2-score game. We're at the top of the 6th, and Miami's got the bottom 2 and then top Pinter, Hernandez, and then Shelby Kunkel, who's homered twice. She's going to get another chance at it in the top of the 6th inning. Ben Quark here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Again, be sure to either stay on Falcon Radio and listen to BG Baseball against Findlay. Coyle Withrow and Noah Seeley on the call after this game is over, starting at 3 p.m., or go to WBGU 88.1 FM for the second game of this final doubleheader of the MAC regular season for Bowling Green. Swing and a miss, outside fastball from Morgan Beckham to Aaron Pinter.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of the D2 opponent here at the end of the season. It's just, what's even the point of playing the game at that point?
I agree. Oh, what a play by Addie Martin down the third base line. Throws the first, gonna be safe.
Man.
What a stop from Addie Martin.
Gotta just roar.
Absolutely deserved that play.
Gotta just give her the call, even if it was wrong. Just gotta give her the what a play. Addie Martin dove into foul play to get that one.
You can see Gardner right there, chatting her up from the dugout. Absolutely amazing stop. That saved saved a base probably.
Oh yeah.
Danitza Hernandez with a runner on first and no outs. See if the softball gods can give one back. Beckham up high above the belt for ball 1.
6-4-3 double play would be right in order to make up for that.
Oh yeah. 6-4, Miami leads. Top of the 6th inning. 2 more chances for Bowling Green to get some runs in. Beckham off speed high.
Hernandez Ground ball single in the fourth in her last at-bat, grounded out the third in her first at-bat, hitting .231 on the year. Plays a very good defensive shortstop.
2-0 pitch from Morgan Beckham. Here it is, swing and a miss. Hernandez takes a big cut at it. She has a single in the fourth inning. Ground ball to the third baseman in the third. A lot of pulls from this Miami team. Understandable considering the power that they hold and they show every game.
A lot of right-handed hitters also. 6 compared to 3 lefties.
Pop fly down the first base line. Taylor Barrett gives it a run right in front of the Miami dugout. It's caught. Play is made. Going to turn it over to the top of the order with 1 out.
We'll see if Shelby Kunkel can continue her streak of home runs, 2 in her last 2 at-bats against Mackenzie Krafschick, but different pitcher, different moment here with Morgan Beckham up.
She has not faced Morgan Beckham yet. Kunkel hasn't.
Nope.
Got a runner on first. First pitch from Beckham, just outside.
Kunkel, one of those seniors who's been around, through all of the success that Miami's had.
Yeah.
NCAA tournament victories in back-to-back years was a run away from a regional final victory against Northwestern in 2023. Also got a win against Dayton in 2024, regional there.
Popped out of play.
Uncle, the Eaton Rapids, Michigan native, attended Eaton Rapids High School. Mentioned that she eclipsed 100 career hits with the Bobcats with the Red Hawks last weekend against the Bobcats.
It's crazy, Henry. I just thought about it. I actually played a travel game at Eaton Rapids, watched their softball team play. Chances are she was on the team during that time. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes. You see these players play, and then you don't even think about, oh, wow, you're watching them now 5 years later. About that sometimes with
2-1 count for Beckham. 2022 freshman All-MAC. First year, over 20 games started and 70 at-bats for Kunkel.
Could this be just maybe a case of pitching around her a little bit here for Beckham? It also could just be not on purpose, not inside of her head, but
yeah, just missing her spots. 3-1 count, 1 out to the top of the order. Beckham goes inside again, misses her spot, puts Kunkel on first base, which actually isn't the worst thing in the world considering her pedigree today.
Well, Kaylee O, no slouch at the plate either. 2 for 3 today.
Not.
Singles in her first 2 at-bats, 282 hitter. Transfer from Oregon State.
Guard's going to take a walk out to the mound, or to the circle, I should say, talk to Beckham.
Now, this is one of the cases where the game is, you don't want the game to get away from you. Only 2 more chances to score runs here for the Falcons. If you're Morgan Beckham, just got to put that one behind you and just focus on throwing strikes and letting your defense make the plays. These aren't really hitters where you're going to rely on a strikeout, especially Kaylee O, Chloe Parks, Kenny Campbell coming up.
So Guard had her centerpiece to Morgan Beckham. Now she'll have to pitch to Kaylee O, as you said. Chloe Parks to follow. Chloe Parks is the one that it seems a little bit dangerous to me, considering 0 for 3. It's one thing at a 2 for 3. Clearly has been good today, but you're playing the do game at that point, and you really are with Parks.
Parks 3 outs, but 3 solid contact hits.
Well
2 line outs to left and 1 fly out to left.
Up high to O. Runner on first. That's Shelby Kunkel. Runner on second. That's Aaron Pinter. The intermediate out. Denitza Hernandez popped out to Taylor Barrett over at first base in front of the Miami dugout. Next pitch, ball, 2-0 count. This is certainly a swinger's count for Kaylee O.
I think control issues are continuing a little bit for Beckham. We've seen that here and there throughout the year.
Gives another one, laced down the third base line, the left field line, and foul.
Miami really we saw them swing early a lot in the count early on against Krafschick. Wasn't really working, didn't get a lot of offense through those first couple innings, and maybe switched up their approach a little bit, kind of let them see a couple, and they're doing that here against Beckham, really letting them see a few and letting Beckham get up in the count a little bit.
2-1 pitch, another one ripped. That was way inside. Probably not going to be a strike. Nevertheless, took a whale at it. So I've seen her do this a couple of times this year. Go inside a couple of times, then go outside. Since a couple of times fastballs.
Yeah, maybe
an
off-speed,
outside,
off-speed, low and outside.
But you don't want to miss and put a full count with 2 runners on, though.
Yeah.
So it's a very big pitch. And this at bat and in the game as well. The 2-2. A little bit slower, but high. Tried to get her to chase. So a full count with 1 out. 2 runners on. Where do you think she goes here, Henry?
I think she just tries to probably go low and outside again. Try to find the corner.
Full count, up and away. Looked like she just missed her spot there. Loads the bases on 2 straight walks. Brings up Chloe Parks, 18 doubles on the season.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Scarlett Anderson is going to come in here for Beckham, trying to get him out of the jam.
Yeah, Anderson has not been as good as in MAC play as she was in non-conference play. Still a very good pitcher. The lowest ERA on the team, actually.
Yeah.
She has not had an appearance over 1 1/3 innings pitched, though, since March 18th against Green Bay. She's going to have to take care of 2/3 of this inning and then a full next inning. So after that, the Falcon arms are down to Sydney Marshall. And, putting Mac back in the game or Morgan Beckham back in the game.
I didn't see the circle in the Toledo series last time out. Just an inning and third with an earned run on 3 hits against the Chippewas. Outing against Ohio before that, where it was another earned run on 2 hits there. So not a lot of trust in her lately, I think, Gardner. See if she can, get out of this jam here. It's going to be tough. Campbell on deck with Chloe Parks up right now. They just want to see someone who can, put strikes in the zone and force defense to make plays.
A little bit confusing to me. But Scarlett Anderson, her last 2 appearances, 1 1/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, but 3 walks, 4 wild pitches, and 2 hit by pitches. This one's lifted in the air, left field. Kendall Matthews under it. Runner on third base will tag and head home. The throw is just going to try and cut the runner off from advancing, but it's going to escape through the infield. The runners are going to advance anyway. It's a sac fly for Chloe Parks, who did her job. Got all the runners to advance a bag.
That run is going to make a difference. Brings it back to a 3-run lead now for the Red Hawks. That missed throw even by Matthews makes a difference also. Puts 2 runners in scoring position now for McKenna Campbell.
Also looked like they didn't know who the cut was. Looked like Kaufman and Martin were kind of confused on who was taking it.
It was supposed to be Kaufman. Kaufman wasn't quite in position. She didn't really quite move to get in front of the ball. That was a little bit to her left.
First pitch strike from Anderson. And a first pitch swing from Chloe Parks that got the sac fly. Not more you can do if you're the pitcher. Just hope that the run gets in or is shallow enough. Ground ball to third base. Addie Martin will have to throw over to first, and she'll get the out. So Scarlett Anderson gets out of the inning with 2 straight outs. A run is scored for Miami. They lead 7-4 heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Falcons will have their bottom of the order coming up. Kaufman, Matthews, Steffes, and then bottom. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
BG Baseball plays their final game of the regular season against Northern Illinois on Saturday, May 17th at Stellar Field. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil beginning at 12:45 for pregame and 1 p.m. for first pitch on Falcon Radio.
Bowling Green Women's Track and Field heads up to Ann Arbor, Michigan to participate in the Len Paddock Open on Friday, May 9th. Check out Holden Ruck's recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
7-4, Miami leads after the top of the 6th inning. We're at the bottom right now with the Falcon bats. In the middle of the order, Kaufman, Matthews, and Steffes. Ben Korak here with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Henry, we saw Scarlett Anderson get out of that inning, and we start with the two hottest hitters in the lineup, I'd say, Kaufman and Matthews, and they need a pretty good start so far. These three batters, 0 for 2, all of them today.
Kaufman coming off of a 4-for-4 day on Saturday against Toledo. 0 for 2 today, grounded out to the pitcher and then popped out to short. Matthews struck out twice in her 2 at-bats against Reeves. But 2 looks for them. Maybe that'll be enough to get a good feel for what Reeves is throwing at them, and maybe they'll get lucky here in this at-bat. But 2-0 start for Kaufman.
Yeah, shows bunt, pulls it back wisely, and takes the ball outside. Corners in a little bit, middle back, outfield pretty straight up. This one lined into left field for a base hit. Oh, all the way to the track. Kaufman's going to round and head to second. She's going to get a single and an advancement. Don't know if they're going to give him a double, but she's going to get 2 bags nevertheless. Probably going to be a base error after the single.
Yeah, I mean, just misplayed. I think, wasn't really expecting that to take the bounce there, and it just bounced by her, didn't get the glove in the right position. See that, yeah, and it will be charged as an E7. But I think it'll probably stay as a single, and then they'll reach,
yeah, it should be a single
second
for sure.
In the air.
Yeah, that ball was absolutely laced.
It was.
Into left field. Kendall Matthews up. Struck out looking in the second, swinging in the third.
Bunt.
Shows bunt, pulls it back. Kaufman got pretty far off his second base. Waiting for Matthews to get it down. You do need 3 runs.
That may just be a fake, maybe to just pull the corner infielders in and keep them aware of it. I don't really know if the bunt is the move here, especially with Steffes on deck.
0-1, swinging, high fastball, and she chased it.
Down 0-2. And Matthews hasn't seen Reeves well. Struck out on 3 pitches, looking in her first at-bat. Took her to a full count in the 4th, but struck out eventually in that at-bat as well.
Reeves delivers again, and a strikeout swinging. Got her with the low off-speed. That bunt might have tried to set something up, but it didn't really work out too well. Just put her in an 0-1 hole and too much to battle back from. That 4-game played, reached safely streak for Matthews. Not looking too hot right now.
Reeves continues to just throw in the zone, not let that single in the air phase her. You need to be composed. I think we can safely say she's going to go all the way here, regardless, in game 1.
Yeah. Reeves has got Steffes, then McKee, then Massaro. Steffes is 0 for today, a flyout and a swinging strikeout. Up high of her again, 2-0. Still got a runner on second with 1 out. A single should get in, Cam Kaufman. Pretty good speed. Two-0 pitch from Reeves. Off speed, catches the belt.
Good opportunity for Steffes. Even getting on base here, we gave him a key. We saw her, that double had two solid at-bats with solid contact. She's a player you want up at the plate right now.
The 2-2. Ground ball over to the shortstop. Hernandez throws the first, gets Peyton Steffes, and the runner cannot advance.
That's a good play.
Very good play. Ava McKee up, doubled in the 5th. Also scored a run, got things going for the Falcons of the 5th. Just needs a base hit.
I think McKee has been one of those underrated players for the Falcons who has kind of provided kind of a safe at-bat here. It seems like game in and game out, she always manages to get on base regardless of what way, how it is. I get the double today, hitting close to 600. And plays a very solid catcher, especially for a freshman.
Really came at a good time, too, when Ashley Chevalier was struggling a little bit at the plate. Also was dealing with some nagging injury that wasn't too bad. But McKee kind of took that catcher spot and ran with it.
The Falcons need to be a little bit more aggressive on the off-speed pitches, especially when Reeves kind of throws the first pitch ball. That one's going to be low for ball 2. Seems like she can kind of just drop in the off speed and rely on it whenever she wants to just get a strike, and the Falcons aren't really doing too much to battle against it. We see, she's not really getting high in the count too much.
Yeah. 2-1, 2 outs, runners on second. Another one high, 3-1.
I don't think she would really be too worried about a walk in this position, but I don't think she would really be pitching around McKee in this situation either.
She's already struck out Massaro twice.
She has.
So it wouldn't be the worst walk in the world. Another off speed, left above the belt. It was close, but she walked her. Now Massaro's coming up in a very big spot for the Falcons. 2 runners on, 2 outs.
Yeah, and they're going
to pinch hit.
See who comes in. I mean, Katie Hutter is the obvious option in this.
Yeah, which is
a
good move, in my opinion. We'll see who she goes with. A late substitution for Gardner, understandably, again, because she had to see the situation first. Delaney Davis will wait on deck. She's already got a single and a run scored. Also walked and advanced to third. And it is Katie Hutter.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would mean if Massaro does eventually maybe come out of the game center field, they would probably move Davis to center and then just put Hutter in the DP spot if they do elect to take Massaro out of center field.
Matthews has also played center field this year.
So
maybe Matthews to center and Davis to
center,
left.
That would probably be it.
Probably what's going to happen.
It's number 5, Katie Hutter.
Katie Hutter. Well, the runners on first and second, 2 outs. BG trailing by 3. Reeves puts it over the middle for strike 1.
Hutter hitting just over 260 with a 782 OPS. One for 5 and 1 for 3 in 2 games played against Toledo. Got an RBI in that second game.
Swings, lines it down. The first base line just foul. That would have probably got maybe 2 in, yeah. Depending on how quick they got the runner in. Hutter started 2 games against Toledo, 2 for 8. RBI, a run, a double. 2 strikeouts, though, and didn't play the 3rd game. Again, she's another one that's started sporadically lately. She's got a 0-2 count. Madeline Reeves delivers. Swing and a miss. Outside, might have caught a piece of it, but it was caught by McKenna Campbell, and that takes care of the inning. BG's going to have to do all their work in the bottom of the 7th and hold them off the board in the top of the 7th. Scarlett Anderson will take the mound. You listen to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
Bowling Green Baseball takes a trip west to Notre Dame to battle the Fighting Irish in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil on the call starting at 6:15 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Softball returns home to face Robert Morris on Friday, May 2nd. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Henry Costco and Ben Korak beginning at 2:45 for pregame and 3 p.m. for first pitch on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Scarlett Anderson took care of business in the 6th inning. She came in and got a sac fly to get a run in, and then a ground ball got out of the inning with only 1 run scored. And that gave Miami a 7-4 lead. Falcons were held off the board in the 6th after a leadoff double by Ava McKee, by Cam Kaufman. And now we are at the middle of the order for Miami. Ella Carter, Jenna Golombeski, and Holly Merritt. Ben Korak here with Henry Costco. Immediately after the end of this game, Bowling Green baseball will be what you hear on Falcon Radio starting at around 3 p.m. Coyle Withrow, Noah Seeley on the call from Stellar Field. Bowling Green versus Findlay. Scarlett Anderson first pitch low. For the second game of our doubleheader today, go to WBGU 88.1 FM, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com or on any radio in the local area, of course. Ella Carter at the plate, walk on a hit by pitch, and a single in the fourth and the fifth inning. 1-1 count now on a swing.
Yeah, so Gardner choosing to stay with Scarlett Anderson in this inning as opposed to bringing someone else in. Maybe you talked about maybe potentially bringing Krafschick back in, but I think she's going to rely on her for this inning, especially with Miami already up 3.
Another swing and a miss on a good off-speed by Anderson. Big late in the season, but a big confidence booster if Anderson can get out of this game cleanly.
Yeah. Anderson, senior, so last week playing college softball for her.
Yeah.
Want to get her as much playtime as you can.
Up and in, ball 2. As we mentioned, has not had an appearance over an inning and a third since March 18th against Green Bay. It's been a long time. That was the same week as that Kent State series. That was one of the best of the season, I'd say.
For the Falcons, yeah.
Yeah. Full count now on an outside ball. 7-4. Miami leads. No runners on, no outs in the top of the 7th inning. Anderson, and she hits Ella Carter. First time for Anderson hitting Ella Carter, but the second time she's been beaten today. She'll take first base with Golembeski coming up for the Redhawks.
Yeah, that's 2 now on the day for Carter. She triples her season total, only 1 leading into today on the year, now 3.
Looks like it might have hurt her a little bit. She's going for a pinch runner, it looks like. Looks like Sydney Gilbert, freshman.
Yeah, Gilbert out of Chicago, Illinois. Attended Whitney Young Magnet High School, 2023 All-State, 3rd team with that high school.
So Sydney Gilbert at first. It's Jenna Golembeski at the plate.
Gilbert, common pinch runner.
Yeah.
26 games played, but only 2 at-bats, 11 runs scored, 2 for 3 on stolen bases this year. McKee's going to have to be aware he's here getting off the base pretty far there at first.
Strike 1 from Anderson to Golembeski. We've seen flashes of McKee being great defensively, and then we've seen teams being able to run at will against her. Golembeski fouls it off down the third baseline.
I mean, another tough offensive day for Golembeski. Mentioned 1 for 29 coming in. Didn't get credit for the hit on the E5 that she reached base on in the 4th, and besides that, grounded out to short and flew out to left.
Anderson misses way outside, and a good snag by Ava McKee behind the plate. 1-2. So still in favor of Anderson, who's got pretty good stuff as well. Trying to go right back at her. I would imagine. Doesn't seem to be shying down too much. 1-2. Tries to get the outside edge. Just misses away.
Good take by Golembeski.
Yeah.
Anderson trying to get her to chase on the outside stuff. Maybe going to try to go back inside now or put some in the zone on the 2-2 count.
Gilbert on first. No outs. Swing and a miss. Going to try and complete it. Go to second. The tag. Oh, she's safe. McKee went to second instead of going to first to complete the putout.
I'm not sure about that decision.
I don't know why she would try and make the longer throw.
Maybe he might have been out there.
Oh, never mind. She was out anyway because first base was occupied. Yeah, I forgot about that. So it's a stolen base clean. That's why she was throwing a second.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting rule there.
Yeah. Holly Merritt up with 1 out and a runner on second. That would have been a big double play, actually, if they had the catch him out, throw him out. So 1 out, runner on second. Holly Merritt will try and knock her in. Aaron Pinter to follow. It's the bottom 3 in the order now. Just above the belt, ball 1.
Merritt popped out to first in her last at-bat. Single RBI single in the 4th. Scored the first of 3 runs of that inning.
Another off-speed high.
Scored first of 5. I didn't write the other 2 on my scorebook.
As we mentioned, Anderson has not had a lot of experience lately. He's working pretty good so far. Is down in the count, 2-0. Swing and a miss. Another high fastball. It was out of the zone. She got her to chase, though.
She's been pitching with confidence. Or just punching the zone. Force Miami to make the plays themselves.
Merritt, the designated hitter today, fouls it off to the screen again. 2-2. Such a big out for Scarlett Anderson to get. And even a ground out, advancing the runner really doesn't matter if you're able to get the batter, which is bottom of the order, so it should be somewhat easier.
Gardner Colgate has came out and talked about here the home plate umpire.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to convene and talk about something.
Scott Homka at home plate, and Brian Howard and Michael Young over there at the corners. Go over and talk about it.
Not a lot of questionable plays for them to be making today. Don't know what the problem was. Holly Merritt's still in the box. Runner still at second. Still 1 out. Still 2-2. So yeah, nothing really changed.
Yeah, I don't really have a guess on what that could have been.
I'm at a loss, but 2-2. Line drive up the middle. Hannah Hunt will try and grab it on the backhand, but she can't do it. She'll knock it down in the infield and will hold the runner at third. So Carter will advance to third. Holly Merritt will take first base. You got bottom 2 in the order. The double play is in order now to try and get you out of the inning. Aaron Pinter, who's already got a hit, will come up to the plate.
Pinter, sophomore out of Mount Prospect. Illinois didn't play in 2024. Had a great high school career, was the MSL East Conference Player of the Year as a sophomore.
Pitch just high. It's down in the count 1-0 for Anderson. Again, that was not a very hard hit ball. It was just very well placed. Hunt shifted over toward first base a little bit. When it's more or less up the middle.
When it's weak contact and you have to move, it's just sometimes better because they don't have enough time to send it over to first.
Yeah.
As opposed to hitting it, harder in the infield.
Next pitch, fastball, outside, strike 1. 1-1, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Sydney Gilbert at third and for Ella Carter. And at first is Holly Merritt. Flashes bunt and knocks it foul. A 1-2 the count.
Won't be able to do that again now with 2 strikes. She's going to have to put something in play the traditional way.
Weird to be doing that. She didn't do that on the first couple of pitches, but she did it with a 1-1 count.
Yeah, usually the only time you see that is like a hit and run, runners on the corners. Maybe that's what they were going for there.
Safety squeeze. This runner at third did not bolt for the plate. 1-2 outside. McKee's able to grab it. Again, can't afford any wild pitches past balls here either, considering there is a runner on third base and a pretty fast one.
Golubetsky 13 stolen bases on the year.
The 2-2 pitch from Anderson. Grounded down the third baseline, foul. Just barely.
Just hooked foul. Was in fair play until it got to the third base bag. Bounced just out.
I think if Addie Martin would have grabbed the ball, it would have been a fair ball, considering the last bounce wasn't fair territory. It just wasn't looping over the bag. Still 2-2 count, still runners at the corners, and still 1 out. Anderson throws behind and hits Aaron Pinter and puts her on first base. Loads the bags for Miami with Danitza Hernandez up.
Second hit batter for Anderson in the inning. Hit Ella Carter earlier on. Yeah, had a little bit of command issues. You've seen her with some kind of wild outside pitches on 0-2 counts. That one was a little bit of a wild inside pitch. So Hernandez now a big opportunity with bases loaded, 1 out.
Hernandez ground out to third base and a pop out to the first baseman. She also had a single in there where she scored a run. She's 1 for 3 today. First pitch, strike.
Anderson continuing to attack early in the count. That one's low and outside. I mean, really, kind of a violent motion there in the circle. Violent wind-up. He kind of attributes to maybe a little bit of a lack of command. So put a lot of effort there. And the velocity.
Above the zone, ball 2. 2-1. Yeah, and a big out at the plate here, too.
Yeah.
Considering, especially if you get the ball on the ground, a chance to get out of the inning with no runs scored. You see the infield, all of the infielders in. First and third baseman, Barrington, Martin a little bit more so. Anderson puts it outside. What a grab by McKee to stop it from going to the backstop. 3-1 the count with nowhere to put the runner.
Don't want to turn it over to the top of the order like you mentioned. Don't really want to walk
Shelby
this hitter.
Kunkel on deck. 2 home runs and a walk already today. Up high above the head of Danitza Hernandez. Scarlett Anderson just walked in a run. Gives Miami a 8-4 lead. And we're going to see Mackenzie Kraftic get back in the game for Bowling Green.
Yeah, they're going to need to get out of this thing. Don't want to cause too much damage. Already a 4-run lead. Anderson not happy as she heads back to the dugout.
Yeah, it's a tall order for the Falcon offense to come back from. They need to double their score in just the bottom of the 7th. They do have the propensity for big innings, however, not too likely the way that Madeline Reeves has pitched.
You know, you got a feel for Skylar Anderson. I think had such a great non-conference schedule. Had great outings. I mean, 3 2/3 scoreless against UConn, 3 1/3 with only a 1 earned run against Oklahoma. They were in that big game earlier in the year. 3 2/3 scoreless against UIC, 5 scoreless against IU Indy in the Hoosier Classic, and just since MAC play has started, just hasn't gone her way.
Still got 1 out and still got bases loaded. Kraftic is good at limiting damage, so she's a good pitcher for the situation. You know, I mentioned between innings, Henry, you know this, that wondered if they were going to go back to Beckham, maybe go back to Kraftic instead of putting Anderson back out there.
Yeah.
Because she was hitting the zone very well in the back half of the 6th inning to get 2 straight outs. One of them that scored a run, but the run was not hers. It was a fly out. The other one, a ground out. And you put her back out there, and she struggled to find the zone, struggled in all the batters that she pitched to, you know, all 5 of them.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation as a pitcher to sit there for 3 innings and then have to come back out.
Swing and a miss from Kunkel, outside fastball, especially, you know, not starting as well. You're already coming in somewhat cold. You were in the bullpen for a little bit, and then you sat in the bench for a second, and then you went out. You came in cold, and then you came in even colder. The at-bat after, low and away for ball 1. But again, like I mentioned, feel pretty confident in the abilities of Mackenzie Kraftic in this situation. She's been in this situation before, and she's been able to work out of them before as well.
Kraftic was the one who Kunkel hit 2 home runs off of the 3rd and the 4th innings, however, although she did strike out in the 1st.
McKee's frame kind of bought a call there. So 1-2 the count on the outside. Trying to get Kunkel, trying to get the 2nd out of the inning. Kraftic winds, deals, swing and a miss. Actually tipped into the glove. Strike 3, swinging anyway. Now 2 outs with the bases loaded for Kaylee O. O's reached base 3 times, twice on a hit, once on a walk in the 6th.
That's a great job by Kraftic to come in cold after a couple innings and strike out the hottest hitter that the Redhawks have had all day and maybe all season.
It's her 2nd strikeout of the day. Now 4 1/3 innings pitched as the book is not closed on her. Pitch low. Again, in those first 4 innings that she pitched before she was replaced by Morgan Beckham, 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run on 6 total runs given up, 2 strikeouts, no walks. So she was good even during that. Just didn't have much defensive support. Inside, caught the corner for strike 2. Strike 1, I apologize.
Yeah, really good pitch. Not even really hittable. Or when you hit it on the low and inside corner, that's just such a tough pitch to hit, especially when you're in a position like O.
Ground ball down the 3rd baseline, foul.
I mean, O is pretty much right on that inside part of the batter's box there. See, like, pretty much all the Red Hawk hitters kind of have that approach, ready to stick an arm out or have their leg in position for a hit by pitch. We've seen that today. Three hit by pitches for them today.
2 by Ella Carter, who's not afraid to wear it. 1-2 count, 2 out, bases loaded, and the top of the 7th inning. Kraftzig deals, lined into left field. That's going to get at least 1 run in. Rounding third, coming home. Martin catches the runner, trying for third. Now chasing it back to second base. They'll tag out what looked to be Denitza Hernandez. 2 runs are going to score. 10-4, Miami leads as Bowling Green gets out of the inning. But after a little bit of damage was done by the Red Hawks. Bottom of the 7th coming up. BG needs 6. You're listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU softball heads to South Bend, Indiana to battle the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Thursday, May 1st at 5:30 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have a recap of the game on bgfalconmedia.com.
Delaney Davis will have the chance to get things started for Bowling Green, and they really need to get something started. Trailing 6 now after they led 3-1 after the 3rd inning, 5-run 4th inning for Miami. BG got 1 in the 6th. Miami got 1 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th. Now this one's lined up the middle, base hit for Delaney Davis. That's a good way to get it going.
How about Delaney Davis today? 2 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah.
In her position, it's one of those cases where she kind of has to earn her right to play in the second game a lot of the time with Katie Hutter, who also kind of plays at that DP spot sometimes. But I think it's safe to say she's probably earned her right to start in the second game as well.
1 for 15 in her last 6 games started. Starts today and goes 2 for 2 with a walk. So impressive stuff from her. Hannah Hunt homered in the 3rd inning, a 2-run blast. She's got a runner on first with no outs. Takes a pitch high. Madeline Reeves trying to get another win in the season. That's an area where she is leading the MAC. 19 wins if she gets today's. Currently 18-10 in her 35 appearances. 20 complete games as well. This one's knuckled down the third base line. Picked up by Pinter. Throw to first. Oh, what a snag by Ella Carter over at first. Gets the out. Advances the runner.
That's a great play over there by Pinner.
Yeah.
Shoulder brace there on her left shoulder. Didn't seem to make much of a difference. Athletic play to get that one over to Carter at first, but advances the runner in scoring position. Obviously 1 isn't quite 6, which is what they need to tie this game up here in the 7th. If anyone's going to do it, it's Addie Martin. They need to start the rally.
No runs scored, but an out on the board. Martin also was able to go yard earlier in the game. Reeves catches the outside corner for strike 1. Single in the 5th, home run in the 3rd, and a strikeout looking in the 1st. All 3 of those against Madeline Reeves. BG's worked 3 pitchers. Reeves still in the game.
First multi-hit game for Addie Martin since April 12th. Today, as she went 2 for 3 with a homer and a single. Both of them RBI.
The 1-1. Popped up on the infield. First baseman Ella Carter is going to range over in front of the pitcher circle and make the catch. 2 straight outs at the top of the order for the Falcons. And they need 6 runs with Taylor Barrett on. Cannot afford an out either.
Next up for the Falcons is first baseman number 9.
Taylor Barrett, Cam Kaufman, Kendall Matthews. Barrett 0 for 3. Batting in the 3 spot today. Takes strike 1.
Barrett looking to get a hit on the board. 0 for 3. Today, Madeline Reeves close out yet another complete game.
The 0-1 from Reeves, sliced foul down the first baseline. Weaker contact from Barrett today as well. Didn't make contact in the third inning. She struck out looking. But a ground ball to the third baseman, pop out to the shortstop. Her other 2 outs of the day. Taken low and inside. Reeves missed her spot. 1-2 count now with 2 outs. And a runner on second base. Leadoff single from Davis. Advanced on Hannah Hunt's ground ball. Then a pop out to the first baseman by Addie Martin. 1-2 from Reeves. Ground ball to third base. Pinter throws over to first, and that's a win for Miami, up to 16 wins in conference play, and they're going to try at another one in the second game of this doubleheader between Bowling Green and the Miami Redhawks. Henry, any thoughts on this game before we have to sign off real quick? Turn it over to Stellar Field, just across the tennis courts here in Bowling Green.
Yeah, just another one of those cases where BG wasn't really quite able to create the offensive output. Obviously, 10 runs there, and for Miami, 3 in the 7th, 1 in the 6th, 5 in the 4th. Where he just continued to rain it on. Brought Krafchick out of the game, then brought Beckham out of the game, then brought Anderson out of the game. So consistent offense for them throughout the day, and that's been the key for them all year. And that's a big win for them in terms of MAC playoff standings. They'll improve to 16-7 on the year. That ties them for second now with Central Michigan, who holds that spot.
Mackenzie Krafchick at the start today, 4 2/3, 1 earned run, 6 runs total scored. Although even just counting earned runs for the 3 pitchers that we saw today for Bowling Green, they still would have lost. 5 earned runs for the Falcons, 4 runs total scored for Bowling Green as they lose the first game to Miami, try for a win, and the final MAC game of the season. You can listen to that over on WBGU 88.1 FM, streaming at bgfalconmedia.com. But just in a few moments, we will have Bowling Green baseball versus Findlay on Falcon Radio. Coyle Withrow and Noah Seeley. You will hear from them in a second, and we'll turn you over to them right now. Thanks for listening to BGSU Softball on Falcon Radio.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.